and the founder of Welding and Hip Hop. Coming to you this morning just to talk to you about how to create your independent welding opportunities because I think it's very important. I had a few people ask me about how I knock on doors and how I go about networking myself on different platforms and on different sites to be able to get a balance as far as what you're doing when you're independent. And a lot of times when we're starting, um, we don't have a lot of finances. We have enough, but we're not rich. We're trying to get there. We're trying to get to where we're comfortable. So it's very important that we know how to invest our money because they're going to take money to make money. That's a no-brainer. Is you got to spend money, especially when you're building your independence, and you need to know what direction you really want to go in as far as what niche you really want to follow. Do you just want to strictly fabricate? Do you want to do strictly field welding? Do you want to do specialty work only? Do you want to work with homeowners? Do you just want to do industrial work? There's a lot you can do. Do you want to be a furniture? There's so much you can do. So I think if you're a person that you really just don't know, but you want to weld and you want to fabricate and you enjoy installing, so just jump out there and try something. And as you rub shoulders with different people and you do different jobs, you'll create a analysis on your own. You'll be like, you know what? I think I like this better. Or versus this. Me personally, I don't like a lot of headache jobs. A lot of people who walk around like they walking on water and they really not. You know what I mean? So I like to, after me knowing that, I like to do jobs where it's not really a lot of headache involved. You know what I mean? I can do um, jobs that are specialty, but I just don't like to work for assholes. You know what I mean? Like I'm willing to miss money, pass off money before I put myself in a situation where my spirit is unhappy. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you get yourself in a situation where you're like, man, I got to do this because I gave my word. Now that I've been doing it for a while, I understand that I have to sit back and meet the people and hold a conversation with them and kind of read them and kind of see how it's going to go. And sometimes you can get a good vibe and then it can still go left field. And sometimes it can start off like it's going to be left field, but end up being a great relationship when it comes to business. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's important that you learn how to network yourself properly and come up with some type of budget. I think that just like being an independent artist, because I'm an independent artist too, and I remember starting out, you don't really know everything about the music business. We just try different things and you want to get heard, and then you get to think, well, am I doing this to be independent or am I doing this to get signed? And then you get to realizing that sometimes we do things the opposite of what we're really trying to shoot for. So we have to pull back sometime and say, okay, what am I really seeking after? What am I really trying to accomplish with my business, with my talent, with my product, you know what I'm saying, or my service? So it's good to know that. You must know those facts, man. I think it's very important because those alone will help you get over the hump. You know what I mean? And I think that it's very important that you put your best foot forward, meaning come with some decent business card. Don't just come with no, you don't have to spend a lot, but there are services out there now where if you just give yourself the time, a lot of time it's just the time. It'd be like, man, I don't want to do this, but if you sit back and give yourself a little time, you can create it on your own. Or if you don't want to create it on your own, you can give someone your ideas and just pay a little bit and come up with a decent card. You don't have to spend a lot, and you should come up with some type of decent physical advertisement of your products because they love to see what you do. You know what I mean? Like people, actions speak louder than words with anybody. If you tell them you do this and they see you do this and you pull up looking like this, that's what you do. You see what I'm saying? But if you just come up talking, they're like, I don't know. So it's good to hit them with a combination of three. You want to look like what you're doing. You know what I mean? You want to present it like, yeah, this is how professional I am. This is how I believe in it. And then you want to be able to have them look at you. You don't have to tell them. they can be able to see, okay, this person is about business. So I think, it's very important. I like to say this because I had talked to a few gentlemen before who are welders who went to interviews, and they just didn't know, what I mean? They just put wanted to look real good, but not knowing that they wasn't looking correct for the position. Like they went in with suit and tie, or went in with a nice, like they finna have an office job, or um, working in some type of executive field, you know what I mean? But they just going to a shop fabrication or doing some structural welding or some ornamental work, you know what I mean? And I think that you have to dress accordingly, So even for those who looking for jobs, being independent, just networking yourself that way, doing 10-9 jobs, when you go present yourself, look like you ready to go to work right then. You know what I mean? Like, always go in looking like I'm ready to work that day. I might be ready to work that day and I might not, but I'm gonna look like it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have my boo, I'm gonna be ready to go. And I think that's a good way to um, come across as far as making sure they get your point is what you're trying to do. You're like, okay, this dude is serious. He really trying to do something. So it's all about the way you bring it to them. You know what I mean? So I would say that you should think about your approach, dress accordingly, and come up with your budget. I got to go back to that budget because having a budget is very important. You need to know how much you are willing to invest in your business. Like, don't just say, "Oh, I'm going to do this," but a lot of times we'll rather invest in the image of the business than actually investing in the business. We'll want to look like we're making money, or look like we're business, or look like, but we're really spending the money in the wrong areas, and we look like it, but we really ain't getting no return. We really ain't getting no ROI, no return on our investment. You see what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of us get the misconception of looking at those who are major, the corporations. You want to try to mimic them. You should use them as a guide, but not as a model. You're not going to get like that overnight, especially being independent. So don't worry about, keep a professional look, but you don't have to um, look like something that you're not. Be who you are, and knowing who you are, having a self-confidence in yourself when you go meet these different people, they gonna tell, they can see the confidence in you, they can see who you are, and just know who you are. That's very important. And that way you won't get caught up in the cloud of trying to spend money in areas where you shouldn't. I just think it's important because I have been out there and I have just seen it, and we make a lot of mistakes and waste a lot of money that way. So one important factor I would say to most definitely know how to spend your money. And your budget doesn't have to be strong. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. If you can only spend, starting now, say, hey man, I can afford to spend $50 a month or $25 a month on my advertisement. And as you start getting jobs and you start seeing this advertisement work, you need to put a little bit more money. See, you think about it. The advertisement of the product, the advertisement of the service, not only does it just say you're in business, but when you market it correctly, it put it before people that may not would have been able to see your content. Maybe wouldn't have seen your sign or what you got going on, would need it. And the way the system work when they're setting the ads, it kind of places it before those who seek that type of genre, seek that type of work, or looking for something like that. It search, oh man, they search a lot of fabrication or home improvement. Maybe they don't like this guy, he do this and this and that. I mean, it's just crazy how it works, but it'll pop up in front of them all the time. And the way it pops up, you can tell that it's not a a physical promotion, like the actual individual just promoting it. And I think that's good too, when it looks real professional as far as your promotion. Even though you promote it on a small budget, it'll still look like, oh man, this is a professional ad coming from someone that needs a service, especially when majority of people use their cell phones today. So you can get in contact with them right then. They can see your information right then. So it's just good to come up with that. I think that's very important. And have an online presence, I can't say how important that is because you want to reference somewhere. You know, for those who don't have a website or can't afford getting a website, still you can still buy your domain. That's like between $8 to $10. You can get your domain. What can't nobody get it, and you can sit on it for a few years if you have to. That's fine, but at least you own it. And you can maybe have another page, a social page where people own, and you got it representing your business because most people use that anyway. A lot of my, I have got a lot of sales off of social advertisement. You know what I mean? And it was some good professional sales, but it just was, they was on it at that time, browsing maybe on lunch or in between a meeting and just looking at something and what they needed popped up. So just keep that in mind that the way the system works when you spend your money, I mean, it's kind of like walking on air. You don't really know the algorithms on how it floats and goes, but it'll work towards your favor. And as you learn, just put more investments in it because it's just like the big ads you see. A lot of the brands you buy may not be better than the brands that's $2-3 or way less cheaper with the same products that thing got in it, the same items or the same ingredients, and they just didn't have that major advertising budget like that company did that represented whatever you buy. So, oh yeah, I live by this, and then you get to thinking like, well, why do you live by this? Because so and so said this and this said this, and it's programmed in your mind after watching these videos or seeing these commercials or hearing it on the radio or seeing it in someone's house and someone got this, and you get, it's like it's a mental cycle, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's my brand, but that brand was you bought into that brand, not really knowing it. A lot of people buying the brands and later they like, man, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this brand. I don't want to be a part of this. I didn't know they stood for this or that. You know what I'm saying? So it just, how we tend to buy into brands. So you got to remember people are going to be buying into your brand. They're going to be buying into what you're trying to provide them. So it's important to present yourself properly and to know who you are. You know what I mean? And also, you want to have materials, some type of physical material you can pass out. If you're not passing out, you get someone else to pass them out. Word of mouth is good too. You always want good word of mouth. You do a good service for people. You do a good product or whatever. They gonna tell someone, and it just works crazy. But I think that one of the main ways to network yourself too on a bigger scale, because you never know who actually needs you. So always network outside your area. I want to say that because some of us think that we can only eat in one spot. Like, oh man, I'm here. Everybody's doing this. Well, what if everybody ain't you though? How can you provide it different where you might have to network around the towns? So, you probably want to go higher before you're willing to go. So you might say, hey man, I'm willing to network in a 5-hour radius. So in a 5-hour radius, you network to all those cities around the most people don't think that. Most people think narrow-minded. They only gonna focus inside. Oh, I got this sold up, which really is better to have a bigger market. So you want to network, just like for instance, I'm in Oklahoma City now. So I've been here 6-7 weeks now. So I'm just getting into the city and I've been checking out what's close by, where I can go, how I can network myself in a radius. We have Dallas, you got Wichita, I got Arkansas right there, Little Rock. I got what is this? I think it's some part of Texas that's not too far. The opposite direction. I try to stay within 5 hours. You got different spots of Kansas. You have a spot of Missouri that's close. I believe that, yeah. It just depends on how you do it, but I have different spots in a 5-hour radius, and I honestly have been picking like looking at every major spot, where it's more flow, where it's more people involved, where people actually need what you're trying to provide, and network it that way. I mean, that way you're not just trapped in a box, trying to eat from a system, you know what I mean? Because even being independent, having certain services, they have cutoffs and guidelines on them. So when you're trying to do them, a lot of times everybody do it at this certain rate. Oh man, this is the going thing. So if you're doing something like that, it's almost like having a job. You know what I mean? Because you can't. You got to go with whatever going on now. It might be a good thing, and it might be a bad thing. So it just all depends. But I think that we have to look at that though. Really weigh that situation out. So I didn't want to come to you long this morning. Just really wanted to um, give you something to think about. I like to say the early bird gets the worm. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. So I know if you think about your approach, if you really keen in on what you want to do, that I know that you will accomplish it, and you can create opportunities for yourself. By just getting a few things in line beforehand, and always sharpen up over time. Like always getting better. Never get to the point where you feel like you didn't made it. And I just, for the record, before I let you go, never get comfortable with a contract. Don't, just because you got this one, say, oh, that's it, and you say, oh, I'm just stop hustling, I'm just gonna depend, I'm gonna eat off this one. Never do that. Always be looking for more. We used to always say in the South, man, I was looking for this job when I when I found it. Say I was looking for a job when I found it. So, you know, I'm looking for other opportunities. This situation don't work, then I'm keep looking, because um, I'm not going to be dedicated to a situation that I can't grow in, that I can't prosper in, that I'm going to be stuck in one position. I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like we should just keep our minds open to the fact that if you got something and you know what you got, believe in it. Put something behind it, man. Um, Take it to that next level. I just can't say that enough, man. If you believe in it, it's gonna take you. We want other people to invest in us. We want other people to put money behind us. We want other people to do this and that and honor our dreams and see what we got going and hip hop parade song. But we don't want to put nothing behind it. You got to put something behind it. You got to do something. And when others see you taking the initiative, you making the sacrifices, you putting in the work, it's starting to come along, and they see, ooh, he getting together. Maybe they just need this little help. I wonder if I can help them. And then they be like, oh, it can kill two birds with one stone. They helping you, you helping them. People watch you, and actions speak louder than words. Be authentic about what you do. Be real about what you do. That way you don't have to pretend it. I mean, that's why I go live, and I don't just write down a script, and I don't cut sections out of my videos, because life is real. Like, it's just what it is. Like, I feel like I'm just gonna be authentic. I feel like that's not enough of that out here, but I don't have to pretend about anything. And if I mess up, that's life. We mess up. Life goes on. But don't get caught up in worrying about having to be controlled by a system. So if you're gonna network independently, you gotta think outside of the system. You're gonna have to break that mindset. You're gonna have to reprogram your mind to be more open. Be more open to not just eat off one plate. You know, there's a saying that says to cast your bread upon the waters. You know, that way it can go different ways. You just don't want everything in one basket. You see what I'm saying? You want to be able to network yourself where you got something going on over here. If this ain't going on over here, if this ain't going on over here, you got this going on over here. If that ain't going on, you got that going on. You see what I'm saying? So to me, I think it's important, especially being independent, to really network yourself and be free to make mistakes, to stumble, and to remember those that we've seen, those that we know that's there now, that's actually made it over the hump and doing what they need to do. They stumbled and failed a lot of times before they got there. So never give up and create your own opportunities. Hold on.